Well, hey everyone. One of the things that I look forward to in my move to BC was experiencing an authentic Okanagan summer. And as you know, it's been quite a summer. We have navigated the end of the third wave of the pandemic, only to move straight into a historic heat wave, which has now resulted in devastating, destructive forest fires and a whole lot of smoke every day. And now, as I watch the news, we are talking fourth wave, which is especially acute here in the interior. So, yeah, it's been quite a summer, and I'm wondering, beyond me as the new guy, how are you doing? I've got to admit, as Cindy and I have processed this over the past week or so, we felt a little weary, like there always seems to be one more thing. And the weight and disorientation of all of this, if I was honest, I would say, man, it's catching up with me a little bit. I wonder how often you've heard this phrase over the past year and a half, in this time or in this season. I'm just wondering, how long can this season go on? It's like one of my friends used to say, it kind of feels like it's winter in Narnia, where it's always winter, but never Christmas. These are, I think it goes without saying, these are quite the times. As I'm reflecting and processing all that these days, I just wanted to share a verse with you that's been sustaining me over the past couple weeks. I've been in the book of Isaiah this summer, and it was written to people originally who were in some pretty stressful times, maybe not pandemics or forest fires, but certainly the threat of war and loss of life. And as Isaiah wrote this, he says in chapter 33, verse 6, "The Lord will be a sure foundation," and then here's the kicker, "in your times." The Lord will be a sure foundation in your times, a rich store of wisdom and knowledge and salvation. That little phrase, "in your time," keeps rolling around in my heart and my mind. This time is unsettling, this time is tumultuous, this time is disorienting, but God is not overwhelmed by the times. And he actually says that he is a sure bet on which to build your life and to guide you in the everyday decisions and stressors that come along with a season like this. He is also the best resource for navigating the emotions and the questions that emerge out of ground-shaking experiences like worldwide pandemics or natural disasters and forest fires. And so in this time, mid-August 2021, I just want to invite you, as I have, to do some reflection and maybe even some conversation with good people around you. And the first one is, how is your soul these days in these times? What, or maybe who, is giving you a sense of security in these times? To what degree are you sharing the stress, the weariness, the perplexities of this season with Jesus? And by extension, Jesus' body, his people. And if you were honest with yourself, in what ways is Jesus serving as a practical foundation in these times? Or are you just kind of dealing with this stuff on your own, by yourself, on your own resources? And as you come up with an answer to that, maybe the one final question you could ask God in that conversation and kind of ponder in your own mind, what adjustment do you need to make so that your foundation is secure in these times? Maybe you need to make a little more space for regular reflection and prayer. Maybe you need some space just for some people around you who can support you. Maybe it's time for you to return to the regular routines, the weekly routines of worship and rest. I don't know what it is, but what adjustment might the Spirit of Jesus be calling you to these days? And if you're processing that, it would even be better if you would share that with a friend or a family member, someone who can process that with you. One other encouragement. In difficult times, a primary way we follow Jesus as his people is to serve others as he did. And I'm really encouraged to hear a few stories just in the past couple days, how some of you are serving in the community, some of you housing people who've been displaced or evacuated by the fire. And maybe one of the ways we can serve is just to call one another, call someone up, see how they're doing, check in with them to find out how they're doing in these times, and offer to pray for them. And I know some of you may be wondering, is there a way that I can just sort of practically do something as I feel kind of helpless as all of this unfolds? Well, I came across a neat opportunity and a real need for a local organization to assist in a warehouse in Coldstream as they receive and sort and distribute in-kind donations that will go to help evacuees and people displaced by the fire. And if you'd like to jump in on that opportunity and get involved in just a practical way, I just check out the link in the description that goes along with this video, and that'll direct you the right way. And finally, if you're in town this weekend, in summer, in August, I invite you to join us for church on Saturday night and Sunday morning, where we'll worship together, we'll focus on the foundation himself, and we'll consider this weekend what it means to trust in the Lord with all our hearts in these crazy times. So, just praying for you. Hang in there. These are puzzling times, but I'm relieved and grateful that we can trust in someone who promises to be a sure foundation in troubling times.